You are listening to America's Best Shops podcast, a show created to inspire shop owners to achieve optimal success in their business. I'm your host, Brad Kilgore, best-selling author of the book Double Your Custom Shops Customers. I'm also the founder of Custom Shops Marketing, a leading digital marketing agency that works specifically with automotive, RV, and motorcycle shops. On each episode, I sit down with industry leaders to talk about their processes, lessons they've learned, and how to find success in the industry. All right. Good morning, everybody. It's Brad Kilgore here from America's Best Shops. And we've got Keith Shomaker here from Redlands Truck RV. How are you doing today, Keith?
Great. Thank you for having me, Brad.
Yeah, awesome. So Keith is a man that I met in Arizona. We were at a rally for Renegade RVs, and we got to know each other a little bit. And I'm just real honored to have you on the show today. And just going to kind of ask you a few questions, and you can tell us a little bit about your business and go from there. So, tell us a little bit about Redlands Truck RV. How long you guys have been around, and how many employees, and some of that stuff.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you. Redlands Truck RV has been around since 1972. We have 20 employees. We've been in the same location since we built our building. I want to say that was 1990, 91. We have another location that's real close to us that we call the Grove, and that's a RV park that's for our customers. So in essence, we have two locations.
Okay, awesome. And so you have about 20 employees.
Yep.
And you serve both the recreational RV market, and then you also do semi-truck repair. Would that be an accurate statement?
Definitely all of the RV market, from someone that owns a pickup truck and a camper to full-on Class A, Class C diesel pusher, very large motorhomes. We do everything for a motorhome. Commercial truck is probably not the tractor trailer. It's probably the person that's delivering water or people, maybe a shuttle. We have a customer in town that's a retirement home, and we work on their shuttles. So
okay, that clears it up a little bit. Okay, so tell me a little bit about how your business got started, maybe a little history.
Oh, goodness. 1972, my dad was an engineer for Lockheed Aerospace, which was based close by in a little town called Mentone. He'd worked there for many years and got his degree. Everything was going good. They said one day, hey, we're moving our operation to Ohio. And my parents said, no, we're not moving. So his buddy owned a Redlands Express. They delivered furniture around the state of California, and they had a shop. And in essence, my dad's friend sold him his shop.
Okay.
That was Redlands Truck Service in 1972.
Wow. Okay. And so when it first started, was it you didn't have the current building that you have now then?
No, a Butler metal building with two push-up metal doors that took quite a bit of effort. And I can remember it as an 8, 9, and 10-year-old kid going down there in summer days or after school.
I'll bet. So yeah, a little bit different than what you have now.
Yeah,
so
yeah, definitely.
That's cool. So if you were to describe kind of your ideal customer, I know you touched on it briefly, maybe just kind of lay that out. Who would be kind of your target market or your ideal customer?
Absolutely. Someone that's, if it's an RV customer, definitely someone that's owned more than one RV. Perhaps they started with a tent and then they went to a trailer, maybe a Class C, and then into a Class A or something of that nature. But our customer is discerning. They know their motorhome. They know what they want. The motorhome that they're in right now is something that they either researched or that they wanted, and they love their motorhome that they're in, and they want to take great care of it. And that's where we come in.
Okay. Yeah, that makes perfect sense, because a lot of times when people are first starting out, they may have a small class C or something, and they're just getting their feet wet. They don't necessarily know what they want yet, because they haven't really experienced it yet.
My favorite fun story is whether it's friends I've known or customers that have not participated in much of the RV stuff. They call me up after they've already bought their motorhome, and then they ask me my opinion, and I give them my opinion. Sometimes it's different than what they've done. And they go, oh no. But in the end, people enjoy what they're doing, and our job is to make sure that they're happy and safe during their travels. So it doesn't matter where you're at with your motorhome. We definitely want to participate with you and help you out.
Absolutely. All right. So as far as marketing your business, have you, what's kind of been the marketing mix? Have you done different things where you've done Chamber of Commerce and different things like that? I know you mentioned some different things that you do off-site. So we'll start with kind of the marketing stuff that you do, not online necessarily, but what you do offline.
Yeah. It was funny actually. Yesterday, I was thinking about the days when we built our building back in 90, 91. And that was still the days of the yellow page. That was the days of the ad. And I remember spending thousands of dollars in situations to have one ad in 3 cities or something. And it was just absolutely crazy. But that was it. We didn't have the internet. If I wanted a commercial truck place to find me quickly, I needed to be in a book that they could find.
Right.
Fast forward, putting ourselves forward 30, 40, 50 years, I think you find that there's no substitute for great reputation. Number one, word of mouth, I think, is where I'm going with that. But also delivering your message in an environment where the customer is comfortable and will respond. We've found, for the motorhome stuff that we do, we've found 2 very distinct places. One is what we would call a trade show. So FMCA and motorhome groups like yours, your Renegade group, have gatherings, and some of them are large, some of them are small. If we can get an opportunity to go to that gathering and present and talk about Redlands Truck and RV, it is remarkable the return that we get from spending 1 or 2 or 3 days with organizations and groups. Coming up, for example, is Quartzsite. So 3rd week of January 2023, we will spend probably 10 plus days in Quartzsite, and we'll be working 8 of them. So we will meet probably 200 to 300 people that we would normally never meet because we're not in Arizona.
Right.
So we're taking our brand of service, we're taking our we're taking our show on the road.
Sure.
I hope that answered some of your question.
Right. And for those that don't know, the Quartzsite event in Arizona has been going on for many years, and it's kind of the RV mecca. It's supposedly the largest RV gathering in the world.
Yep. I saw some statistics. They say 2 million people. I have a hard time saying that's going to be in Quartzsite. I would guess maybe 2 million people converge on Southwest Arizona, from staying in hotels to staying in RVs to staying with friends and family. But definitely you have a certain surge of travelers, snowbirds, and Quartzsite just is a very popular place.
Right, and the weather's decent there in January, so that's good.
Yep. And it's awesome. Kind of interesting. We start our Quartzsite process locally in Indio.
Right.
Before COVID, 15 years, we did the California chapter of the FMCA Indio rally in the Indio Date Festival Fairgrounds is where it's at every year. and we're excited. This year is the first year they've had it since COVID. So we're looking forward to doing that in the second week of January in Indio.
Gotcha. Indio, California.
Yep.
Okay. Got it.
And just so people understand what we do, we just set up a table. We put out our upgrade products, our shock absorbers, our wheel spacers, our anything for performance chassis that we can do, our Michelin tire. And we've got some new products this year that we're bringing out. And the customers come to our little booth, they look at the stuff, they love it, and they go, hey, can you install this on my coach tomorrow? And we say, absolutely. And we do it. It's kind of an amazing thing.
That's excellent. Excellent. So, so that's kind of the offline stuff that you do.
Yep.
When it comes to internet marketing, you and I have obviously been working on some things together. But what have you experienced with internet marketing maybe in the past, and where do you see kind of going with that in the future?
In the past, the only thing I've done online is I've paid for some Facebook ads, and I've been unsure on how to read the telemetry. I don't know if they worked or not. I can't say that I got a click per advertisement. So very frustrating. The only thing that made me feel good was I spent $49 or something, you know.
Right.
But I'm not into spending any kind of money, whether it's big amounts or small amounts, if I can't get any feedback.
Sure.
And that's where I'm at when I do something on social media advertising online. What was your other question? The future? What's the future for me?
Yes.
I've discovered I'm almost 60, but I've discovered TikTok and Instagram and the rest of them, not so much for the popular reasons, I guess, the things that go on there, but I've found a couple RV guys, people, technicians, men and women, they're amazing. I'm embarrassed to say that I've learned a bunch of things in the last 6 months that I have snuck and given to my foreman and said, hey, do you know about this?
Sure.
And he's like, yeah, I just started learning. I heard about it myself. So not only is it a great place for us to potentially, well, certainly social media is a great place for us to reach our customers, but I got to tell you, there's a secret part of it that we're receiving a bunch of information that we didn't, it would take us years to get.
Sure.
You know, because we are not Freightliner. I am not
Right.
Cummins. Although we have subscriptions to all that stuff, you know, we're not privy to the things that are coming out today. And,
right.
Social, and so my answer there, social media is a very, I know it's going to be very important for us in the future, and it's going to be very important for us to get our message out to our customer, as well as continue to really, and I just thought of this, really to take a picture and make sure that we're staying up with the market. It's pretty embarrassing when I'm at a rally, I'm in Quartzsite, or I'm in Indio, I'm at the Renegade Rally in Arizona, and someone comes to me and says, hey, have you heard about such and such product? And I go, no. And they, oh yeah, it's, you know, groundbreaking or revolutionary in the industry. And if I don't know about it, I should be ashamed. I should be embarrassed. So I'm secretly, I guess, hopefully the secret's out. TikTok and Instagram and some other places are allowing me to keep track of that.
Absolutely. Well, and like you mentioned, we find as a marketing agency that a lot of businesses will try different things on their own when it comes to Facebook ads and different things. And if they don't really have the expertise themselves, which a lot of times, hey, they're really good at working on vehicles, but maybe not so much on the internet side of things. If they don't know how to track things and different things, if they don't have the metrics or the data, then at the end of the day, like, well, shit, I don't even know if I got anything out of it. And so that's where it's important to really track it all.
Yep. And
So
I do remember the minute that you came to me at that rally and you said, hey, I went on your website. I went, oh, Oh no, I've been caught. You know,
uh,
our website purposely wasn't updated, and it's just a relief to know that working to bring things up to speed. And really, honestly, like I used to joke around with my mom and dad, hey man, we need to enter the 20th century.
right.
Uh, when I say, let's throw some back, 1991, 92, 93, probably up until 2000, we hand wrote our invoices, hand wrote.
Sure. Sure. That's just the way it was.
Yeah, what oil filter did it take? Oh, hold on a minute. Let me go to the paper file. Oh my goodness. So, we really have come a long way. And honestly, I don't care how old you are or how stuck you are in your ways, like me, I guess. I have to accept the future, and I am excited about TikTok. I'm excited about social media. I'm excited that we would be able to help our customers out in a method that's easier for them to see and receive, and it's entertaining.
Sure.
I get
Sure.
entertained when I go to the shop. I go and say, hey, what are we working on? What's that? Oh my gosh, we're doing a motor. Holy moly, this whole engine is out of this RV.
Right.
Customers don't ever see it. And yeah, we certainly, no shop wants a customer in the work area, but this gives them a glimpse into their repair. This is why it takes 48 hours.
Exactly.
We had no idea we had to remove all this stuff. And honestly, we didn't either until we figured out that this was broken, and this, sometimes you discover things, but anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. You've got to dig in, and then
Yeah,
and kind of what you said too about your website, I'm excited about the future of that, because obviously you and I have been working together on
yep,
creating not just a new website, but a new experience for
yeah,
your customers. I'm
yeah,
excited about some of the new features and some of the new things that you're really going to showcase
yeah.
to bring it all to life.
Yep. And knowing that hopefully this podcast goes to other shop owners, I would invite you guys to take a good hard look at what you've got going and challenge yourself to freshen things up, whether it's just your website or whether it's accepting a little bit of social media into your business. I would hope that you, like me, accept the invitation and find someone that's helpful and gentle, like Brad, to bring you into the fold and to make the changes you need to make.
Excellent.
You and I talked about my shop foreman briefly the other day. What I didn't tell you was, when I mentioned TikTok to him, he's like, well, I've been wanting to do it for years. And he's like me, he's busy. He doesn't want to take the time, probably, but he doesn't want to be embarrassed. And
Sure.
I've watched it enough, whether it's anyway, I've watched enough to where if you're real and genuine and you're honest and you're a master, or you're a craftsman in your industry and you care about what you're doing, it's going to come across in social media, just like it does to your customer when you're on the counter.
Yeah.
So to draw the correlation, Yellow Pages for us back in the 90s were close to $3,000 and $4,000, which is probably 10 or 15,000 in today's dollar. TikTok, free.
Right. It's free.
Instagram is free. And you're telling me I have the chance, if I do things somewhat right, I have the chance of meeting 1,000 new people, 100,000 new people. Holy moly, that changes things.
Absolutely. The game has changed, and
Yep.
like you say, people have to evolve,
Yeah,
and
yep.
that's the landscape of today.
Yep. And, I think that if someone like me, if someone in the RV industry has 1 million followers, I think there's a lot of pressure. You need to perform. You need to not falter. I think it's good for us. I think it will help us be more competitive. It'll clean our organization up. I like the challenges and the opportunities that are in front of us.
Well, and like you said too, by keeping it genuine, informative, and just helpful, that's really where people are attracted to that, the realness.
Yep. My one good friend in my industry, he very smart man, very successful. He had parts houses. He told me a long time ago, he says, all we have is service. And I want to sell it the best way I possibly can to you. And I would call that guy on a Saturday or Sunday and say, hey man, I need a such and such filter or whatever. And he would always take care of us. And
Exactly.
Brian's form of delivering service is very similar to ours. I want to do everything I possibly can for our customer within reason.
Sure. Sure. I mean, reputation, integrity, service, it all ties together,
Yep.
you know.
And you know what? That doesn't even go into the Herculean efforts that our 20 employees, starting with our general manager on down, do on a daily basis for our customers, whether it's answering a phone call, they're stuck somewhere, or there's a situation and us helping them out over the phone, or it's us navigating some sticky insurance situation and helping them through so that, you know, the repair is able to be performed and, you know, they can continue on their trip and that sort of thing. So we do a tremendous amount for people, and it all has to do with honor and integrity, and it's hard.
Sure.
I was hoping that there would be somewhere that we could talk about the last 2 years. The last 2 years of business have been the hardest I've ever been in. And it's been the hardest to stay focused and to stay pleasing our customer. Like
Sure.
keeping the customer happy has been the most difficult the last 2 years.
I'll bet. Yeah. I mean, it's just been such a different world that anybody's been used to.
Yep.
So kudos to you and your team for sure.
Yep.
So,
and my sister, you guys need to know that I'm partners with my sister in the business, and Karen works far harder at it than I do. I'm very fortunate. I get to do the fun stuff, and that's go present at rallies like the Renegade rally that I met you at in Arizona recently.
right. Yep.
I love that. I love getting on, not getting on stage. I love getting in front of people and sharing my passion about our business and our industry and the things that are here that our customers don't know about. It's unbelievable when I tell someone about Coney shocks. I'm wearing the shirt today, Coney shocks, and they're like, huh? And I said, man, if you put these shock absorbers, sorry, phone call. If you put these shocks on your RV, it's tremendous. The difference. People like, gosh, you know, I've been going to so-and-so service center and they've never told me about them. Well, we know so much about your RV. We're so passionate about your motorhome that we've done all the investigations for you. We are the chassis pros. You know, we know what to do. We know what to recommend for you.
Right.
So
Well, that's the thing.
Sorry to be so excited. I just love what we do.
Oh, please don't be sorry. That's the cool part, is sometimes we uncover the passion and the excitement, and that's really cool.
Yep.
And taking a step back too, I've only talked to your sister once, but
Yep.
man, when I did, it was just so enlightening. Her enthusiasm and her just everything about just the conversation was just, it brightened my whole day, you know. So
she is my mother reincarnated. My mom was a character. My mom was funny, and her mother, my grandmother, was even funnier. My dad was quiet. He was an engineer. He was an engineman in the Navy. He was on a diesel electric submarine
oh
for
wow.
4 years out of San Diego. He and in essence, he took that knowledge or experience and became an entrepreneur. You know, I don't know at what year he. I don't know the timelines on everything. I'd have to go back and do it, but he used that information from the Navy to be successful at Redlands Truck Service.
Wow.
There was a time at the shop when I was 9 or 10, and there was a summer where there were two of the mechanics quit. We had two mechanics and they quit. So it was me and my dad one summer. And I learned so much from him, anyway. The Navy taught him a lot, and it allowed him the confidence to do what he wanted to do. And we've carried that on as a family, and it shows Karen is the same. She's got the same confidence my dad did, and the integrity and honesty that we carry on with our customers. And even when we screw up, I need to let people know that and I'm sure they know, we screw up all the time. Things happen all the time, but you know what? We take care of it. And I learned that from my dad, just take care of it.
Right.
And
something's always gonna come up. We're all human,
absolutely.
But just handle it. Don't melt down, just handle it.
Yep.
That's awesome.
Be professional, be honorable. And even, anyway, I go back to the last 2 years of business. It's been difficult, but we're seeing the light.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
That's great. So next question, Keith, if you have you tried different things over the years to kind of keep in touch with your database of existing or past customers?
Yeah, and I can't tell you why I did this. Actually, I'll tell you, I know why. My general manager started it. He was having his mother call our customers. This was years ago, probably 5 or 6 years ago. So at the end of every month or every couple of weeks, he would give her the closed invoices, and his mom would call and say, "Hey, how did we do?" And it was actually very surprising, Mr. Davis, we didn't, his step doesn't work now. We worked on his air conditioner. Now the step doesn't work. He's not mad. He just wants a resolution, and we call him and say, hey, bring it in and let's take a look at it.
Right.
I was shocked at how much of that kind of stuff went on. And also the guys needed to hear this. About 80% of the feedback we get from the phone calls that are still going on today are the customers telling us how much they appreciate us, the fact that we're still in business, that we made it through the last couple of years, that we still have employees that care, that we still are able to stock parts, that we're still delivering our brand of service. They really, really appreciate it. So fast forward, and we have another lady that runs these phone calls, and it's not an email. She does not send an email. She calls them. And if she doesn't get them, she calls them back. And it's great. She makes good hard contact. She gives us a report every month. And I think we've avoided and averted some real problems by being attentive and curious.
Sure.
I got to tell you, when I get the report from this person that makes the phone calls to the customers, and it's usually 2 or 3 pages. Again, most of it's really good, but there's some that's not. And it gets to me, it's hard for me to process the 2 or 3 repairs that didn't go perfectly.
Sure.
And again, we address them. I pass that information on, and my guys call the customer, contact them, and we make it, if it's our problem or if it's a problem that we can solve, we solve it for them. We don't play the blame game. We don't, hey, that we just want them to be happy and continue on their journey. So
that's just great. So many people don't, and so that's really good.
And I got to tell you, the person that makes these phone calls, I know them. It's a friend of mine, a friend of mine's wife, actually. And so I was able to custom make the script, I'm sure there's companies direct me or other companies on who to find to make follow-up phone calls. In fact, my local Chevy dealer does. I took a car in there a while ago, and they bombarded me with how did we do, and did we do okay? Can you fill out this questionnaire? And I honestly didn't want something that I texted to my customers. I wanted a human being to call them and make sure that we know if they're happy. I want to make sure they know we care, that they're happy, and that the repair got done correctly.
Excellent. Now, what do you see right now as far as new services, new things in your industry that are becoming not only popular but profitable for people in your space?
Uh, if you're in any kind of uh, limousine, I want to say livery, I don't know the whole side of that industry, but uh, if you're a commercial business that works on shuttle buses, vans, professional uh, business people, transportation vans, where like a lawyer has a decked out Sprinter van and he drives around and does his lawyer stuff or goes from office to office, you're going to find that more and more of those customers are going to want products and services that have to do with lithium batteries.
Okay.
So lithium is going to be, lithium's already changed the motorhome industry, but it's going to change it tremendously in the years forward. So that's something I would love. If you're in the motorhome industry, you certainly need to grab a hold of where it's going with lithium and the benefits of it. If you're in the commercial side of the industry, you need to look at it, because lithium power packs are going to power Edison's trouble truck. My local power company is Edison. And if you're a homeowner and you call them and you say, hey, I don't have any power, they send a little truck out and the guy goes up in a boom and checks it out. Pretty soon that whole system is going to be run by a battery, and it's going to be a lithium battery. And if you're in the repair industry, you're going to need to know how to work on it, because you don't want it to go back to the dealer in 75 miles away from you. You want that repair business.
Sure. No, it's a game changer. I mean, clearly people watching this video can see that I live in my motorhome and we have lithium batteries, and it's I couldn't even imagine not having them, because we're able, with lithium batteries, solar, and a high-end generator, I mean, we can be off grid for a long period of time. And the big part of that is the lithium.
Yep. So. And it's in its infancy. The types of batteries that will be coming out in the next 2 to 3 years, solid state, just there'll be game changers inside of game changers. The industry, the lithium battery market is going to transform everything we do. I don't think it's going to get into what they consider propulsion. Like, it's not going to replace your motor. But like on your coach, for example, I would see in the future, if that stayed that size, you would probably have electric drive and then a small diesel generator to recharge the battery so that you can go on your trip. I'm sure that when you guys travel, it's probably 200 or 300 miles, right?
Mm-hmm.
If less.
Yep.
And that's perfect for a big commercial application on a battery.
Sure. Makes perfect sense.
Nitrogen has already changed our industry and our business and how we deliver our tire service to our customers. We're a Michelin Advantage tire center for motorhomes, so customers are paying sometimes $600 and $700, $800 per tire. And as you know, there's 6 of those things on your coach. Some coaches have 8, so do the math quickly. What we feel with pure nitrogen that we use in our shop and when we go to shows is that it protects that tire. It's not contaminated. It's pure. It has no water in it. It has no oil. It has no compressor rust. It's a very pure product, and it's protecting a tire. So if you're in the industry and you're selling automobile tires or commercial truck tires, I would implore you to really look at pure nitrogen. What it did for us is it almost eliminated overnight any kind of new tire failure. And the reason why is because we started using nitrogen, pure nitrogen, on all 6 tires. But in the rear of your coach, especially, there's dual tires back there. So we use another device called a dually valve, and that's a 10-inch long valve stem that comes through. It goes from the inner wheel and it goes through the outer wheel, and it's fixed. It's not an extension that screws on. It's an actual 10-inch long valve stem, and it never leaks. The extensions leak, and that's why we have rear tire failure and premature rear tire failure in a lot of motorhomes. We lose tire pressure back there and we don't ever know it because of that pesky little extension. When we use nitrogen, pure nitrogen, and a dually valve, we virtually eliminate the chances for any premature tire failure due to a leak or a loss of pressure.
I would say for anybody listening, that's a huge nugget right there of kind of the cutting edge stuff that a lot of people don't know about. Because I remember you telling me about the nitrogen instead of air in your tires and the dually valve, and it was pretty interesting information because I'd never heard it before.
And the first thing we get is, oh, it's a bunch of baloney, and oh, I go to Costco, and I get it. I totally get it. And if nitrogen isn't for you, I'm not going to argue. We use pure nitrogen. Our nitrogen doesn't get scrubbed. Our nitrogen doesn't get manufactured at our facility. Our nitrogen comes in a bottle like you would at the hospital. It's same stuff, 99% pure. It's very easy for us. It's on a vessel with wheels. It's under high pressure. We regulate it down. If I wanted to, I could fill 6 tires with nitrogen at the same time in about 30 minutes and have all of them, 90 PSI. This vessel is really simple to use, and it's a game changer. So even if you're doing, I just thought about this, if you're doing motorcycle tires, especially, or small tires that are important, you really ought to consider using pure nitrogen. It's something that's very important. Even an automobile tire that's $100, we need to protect it, and you need to protect the people that's inside of it.
Yeah.
Inside the vehicle.
The precious cargo.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Thank you for letting me ramble there. Sorry about that.
Oh yeah, no, that's what it's all about.
I just love the products that we have. There's a couple new products. People ask us all the time for a run flat device. For motorhomes, 22.5 wheel, so 22.5-inch wheel. It's not a 19.5, not 16s yet, but Red Diamond has come out with a new run flat for 22.5. So that's like your size coach and a good number of the coaches that are out there. They only go on the front, and they work when you hit the brakes. If you have a tire blowout, you have a tire destruction, there's no tire left. This device protects your rim. It protects you. It allows you to steer. It allows you to brake. It allows you to drive 30 miles
on a run flat.
On this device. Yeah, it's on, you're driving on it. It allows you to drive up to 30 miles at 15 miles an hour. So to me, that means, bam, I had a problem. Whoa, holy cow. Here's what really happens. You have a flat tire. The first thing you do is you mash the brakes.
Yeah.
And if it's a front, that's when you end up in the ditch, or that's when you end up across the freeway because it yanks you and pulls you. Yep. This device shouldn't do that. If you have a blowout and your tire fails, your tire is all gone, you have this device that's going to come in contact with the ground, and it's going to continue rolling. It's actually totally brilliant. It's used by the U.S. military. It's made in America, and it's distributed by the people at Spartan Chassis, which is called Red Diamond. It's their aftermarket parts brand.
Wow.
So that's totally
a game changer.
Yeah, total game changer right there. And they came out with another device called an air booster. So like if you've got air on your coach for your brakes and your suspension, your air seat, so on and so forth, you cannot air up one of your tires above 80 PSI if you try in an emergency.
Right.
And people get, not that they got frustrated, but they just realized that the air system on a truck chassis is not meant to be a service compressor. It's not meant to do tires.
Sure.
This air booster allows you to use your onboard air. You just plug into it safely it's protected, and you can come out with 200 psi. So you can air up your RV tires, you can air up your dune buggy tires, you can air up your motor quickly, easily, and efficiently. It's a real neat do-it-yourself tool that you can have on your coach to get yourself in and out of trouble.
Yeah, that's
Hopefully
the
out of
thing.
trouble.
Right, exactly. No, these are some cutting edge things that you're sharing that a lot of people don't know about and are super helpful, not only for the consumer, but as a shop owner to be able to provide those to
Yep.
their customers.
Yep.
So
And I got to tell you, even if you're a shop that doesn't do any of this kind of stuff, what you ought to think about is finding someone that does, and then referring business to them. If someone's saying, "Hey, will you work on my motorhome or will you work on my motorcycle?" and you don't do it, find someone that's in your city or your area that you can refer business to, and hopefully you guys can develop a relationship back and forth. That's a marketing technique I just thought about that we still use to this day.
sure. So if you were to kind of sum it up from a business standpoint, what would you say to an owner of a business like yours that's trying to take their shop to the next level that hasn't been around since 1972?
Well, I would ask that owner, he or she or them, how you're sleeping at night. And if you're not sleeping and you have issues and stuff, I would solve those first.
Okay.
But I would find those things in your business that you're the most passionate about. And it's probably the stuff that you know the most. So it's the stuff that you've been doing the longest. I would talk nonstop about it until people tell you to stop talking about it. They probably aren't listening to what you're telling them. What they're doing is they're picking up on how intense you are and how much you love it. And they're buying not your product, they're buying you. So that's something.
Oh yeah.
That's something that all of us as owners can do, is we ought to be selling ourselves at all times, whether it's in the elevator, wherever you're at, you need to be selling yourself. I handed a bunch out at the Renegade Rally in Arizona, and you probably, hopefully you got one. I have that big giant knee saver that you can kneel on to do your motorhome stuff or gardening or whatever. And people say, they ask me, "Hey, do you have a business card?" And I go, "Yeah, I do. Hold on a minute." And I reach for this big giant kneeling mat.
We used ours yesterday. Yep.
Big giant kneeling mat. And I go, "That's my business card." And it blows people away. They're like,
Yeah.
You're weird. And I'm like, "Nah, I'm just passionate, man. I just love what we do." And I got 20 guys back at the shop that I got to take care of. I got to keep them busy, and they're great.
Exactly.
I got a great team that's just waiting to meet you. And that's what I would tell an owner to do, is be passionate again. Then if you cannot do it as an owner, that means it probably is a good indication that you got some problems. You got a problem employee, you got a financial situation you're trying to get over, or you're deciding if you want to sell your business or you want to stay in business or whatever.
Right.
You probably need to solve those things first before you put on the passionate face and tell the people the truth about your business and how you feel.
Absolutely. That's great advice. And like I say, that knee pad, we use it frequently because,
Yeah.
like right now we're in gravel, and if we got to do something and get something out of compartments or do something on our coach that's on the ground, put on our tire covers, we use that thing frequently. So what a great idea that you had.
And here's a lesson to your shops. We would work on motorhomes. And we started really working on motorhomes in 2000, maybe a little bit earlier. But we would just do brakes and oil change, windshield wipers, tires, that kind of stuff. Oh, your microwave? Oh, no way. I remember this one. explicitly, tow car. Hey, I got a brand new tow car. Can you set it up to tow? And I'm like, man, I don't know. No, we don't know what to do. I gave that job to one of my friendly competitors. And not that he hacked it up, but I looked at the job afterwards and the way they ran their wires, and I was like, oh my goodness, we cleaned it up. And I said to myself right then, I go, why did I give this business away? Why aren't we doing tow car business?
Sure.
And that's where the knee saver came, because you know what? Every motorhome that comes into our shop has a tow car.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're hooking that tow car up, you're down in the rocks, you're trying to figure the pin out, you're trying to plug the 6-way or 7-way in. It's frustrating, it's raining, it's hot, whatever. And they do. The customers love that thing, the knee saver.
Absolutely.
We were doing t-shirts, we were doing a bunch of different stuff, and you can never have the right t-shirt in stock for your customer. It's always the wrong size.
Yep.
The design's wrong. We could have a tractor trailer full of t-shirts and not have what everybody needs and wants. Knee saver, right. One size fits all.
Universal. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So if somebody wanted to reach you, Keith, what would be the best way?
Honestly, email me, KW Shomaker. That's KWSHOMAKER @gmail.com. If it's a other shop or someone that really wants to talk and they think I can help them out, you're welcome to text or call me 909-528-7949.
Okay.
I'm not making any kind of claims that I'm any sort of guru whatsoever. I've learned a bunch of stuff in my 50 years in business. I'm 58. My mom and dad bought this business or started it when I was 8. So we've lived this thing, whether I was there with them turning a wrench or whatever it was. I lived it at the dinner table. I lived it at home. I lived it on weekends. I lived it at night. As far as I'm concerned, my sister and I have been in that business a long, long time. From that, I've gleaned some little wacky little things that'll help. And one of the things I learned the most was when someone says, hey, I'll help you out, I'll be your buddy in a bar fight, it's invaluable. And especially when it's business to business, and I can help. If someone can help me over a situation, it's invaluable. And I want to be able to do the same thing for them. I don't have answers to everybody's question, but I will cheerlead you on like crazy, and I will make sure that you're a success.
Absolutely.
Yeah, please.
Well, and
please email or call if you have any questions. I would love to help. I would love to know that what feeble stuff is in my brain could help someone else out.
Absolutely. And the current website is redlandstruckservice.com. Yep. And that's soon to be updated with the new and shiny, amazing website.
Oh boy. So, and I am so excited about that thing we did yesterday with the chassis stuff. That's going to be remarkable. And I know our customers, and hopefully some other people will look at our website and contact you and say, hey, can you do something similar to what they did?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, like you say, a buddy in a bar fight. And that's what I look at as us, as working together as a team.
When you told me, hey, I looked at your website and my head sunk, and you said, I can help you. That's exactly what I said. You know what? This is a buddy of mine that's going to help me. Yeah, I got to pay him for it. But by golly, Brad's going to do it. He's going to be patient. He's going to be professional, and he's going to help me do it. And that's exactly what's happened.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Well, Keith, it's been a pleasure talking today. And I know that you put out definitely some good nuggets and some good share to everybody listening. Yeah. And I really appreciate you being on America's Best Shops, because truly I consider you one of the America's Best Shops.
Hey, thank you. I look forward to proving it.
Yep. We'll talk soon, and we'll go from there.
All right, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
Bye.